WYMT Mountain News at 6.
Kentucky now has a commission to decide how to spend millions of dollars in opioid settlement money. Attorney General Daniel Cameron introduced the members today. They will decide how to spend more than $480 million. WYMT's Phil Pendleton has more on the announcement today and how this might impact drug treatment and recovery centers.
Millions of dollars will soon be pouring into Kentucky, the first of several installments from drug companies.
Held opioid companies accountable for their role in exacerbating this crisis.
I hate to say that it's well deserved because it's got a bad story, the reason why it's deserved. But at the end of the day, it's just great to see something positive coming from that.
Kevin Horn has seen this scourge firsthand at the Isaiah House Treatment and Recovery Center. In fact, the CDC reports that Kentucky had a more than 13.5% increase in overdose deaths last year at almost 2,400.
Fentanyl is obviously a huge factor in that, the fact that it's so readily available.
The commission is yet to have their first meeting, so it hasn't been decided yet how exactly a good chunk of this money will be spent, but I am told that treatment will be a key component.
We're excited and thankful for any resource that'll allow us to better serve those struggling with substance use disorder.
One thing I learned when I was at Unite is addicts always have money for drugs because they're selling drugs to get more drugs, but they never have money for treatment. So the need is real.
The commission is made up of lawmakers, cabinet members, and others who say they've seen the problem with addiction firsthand.
I spent 40 years in the trenches in the independent pharmacy, so I know really what it's like on the front lines. One day, I had 5 people arrested. One day, I had my life threatened.
They say it's not just a public health issue, it's a safety issue. In Frankfort, Phil Pendleton, WYMT Mountain News.
Half the $483 million is going directly to Kentucky counties, and the commission will decide how to spend the other half. Pike County has seen a spike in COVID-19 cases recently. The Pike County Health Department reports 101 new cases just in the last 7 days, bringing the county's total of active cases up to 141. Pike County Public Health Director Tammy Riley says this spike is in large part due to an outbreak at a nearby skilled nursing facility in Pike County, and recommends folks stay up to date on vaccines to decrease the spread of the virus as well as the severity of symptoms.
90% of those under the age of 60 in Kentucky who die from COVID-19 were unvaccinated, and over 60% 60 and older were unvaccinated. So it's our most powerful tool to guard us against disease severity and death.
The CDC recommends that counties in the red, like Pike, wear a mask while indoors in public, stay up to date with COVID-19 vaccines and boosters, and get a test if you have symptoms or know you've been exposed. We'll have more on the new COVID-19 spike coming up at 11. The University of Kentucky is officially mask optional campus-wide. President Eli Capilouto sent the announcement out last week. Before, masks were optional everywhere except classes and student organization offices. President Capilouto says the campus will be using plexiglass. This move does not apply to UK healthcare facilities. We now know the identity of the person found in Paintsville Lake Sunday night. The Johnson County coroner says it was 23-year-old Kyle Webb. His body was taken to Frankfort for an autopsy. The coroner believes Webb jumped into the water from a cliff. A man is accused of having a loaded gun at a Madison County pool. The Lexington Herald-Leader reports the Berea Pool and Parks director called police Sunday about a man with a gun at the pool. That is on Pirate Parkway next to Berea Independent Schools. Police found 19-year-old Daniel Hayes near the pool with a loaded pistol. There were no reports of shots being fired or any injuries. Hayes is charged with possession of a handgun on school property.
Classic summer day around the mountains today. Plenty of us saw sunshine, warm temperatures during the early part of the day. Now that we're in the evening, starting to get in on a few showers and thunderstorms, and I think we'll all get in on those before the night is over. And in fact, let's look outside right now. I-75 at Mount Vernon seeing showers and thunderstorms continuing to push through the region. Some rain on the interstate right now, so if you know anybody traveling up and down I-75, let them know it's quite soggy right now. Watching some of those showers and storms push in from our camera at the London Corbin Airport. Temperatures, notice out to the west, it's cooler where we've had the rain already work through. Out to the east, a little bit warmer. Temperatures still in the 80s. Here's where we see that first line of, or at least broken line of storms pushing through up and down 27 between, well, the Tennessee state line up to about Somerset, seeing some showers and storms, and even further on to the north as we head towards portions of the I-75 corridor, basically between about Conway and London, seeing the potential for some heavy rain, gusty winds that's pushing off towards portions of Jackson County here over the next little bit. But that's not the last of it. We continue to watch showers and thunderstorms out to the west. Now severe warn just to the south and east of Bowling Green. So that's going to continue pushing on to the east and the northeast this evening. And that's something we have to watch through the evening. Severe thunderstorm watch in effect for central Kentucky, but that whole line of storms has to push through the state before we're all said and done with the chances for showers and storms this evening. So go ahead, if you don't have it already, download that WIMT weather app. Not only will you get our forecast, the latest radar imagery, you'll also get that alert sent to your phone if you do happen to go under a warning this evening. I think those will be few and far between, but better to be safe than sorry, no? Outside, we continue to watch temperatures dropping into the 60s as we head to the nighttime hours. I'll have the very latest on when this round of storms moves out and when we can see more showers and storms in the forecast coming up in just a few minutes. Steve?
Evan, thank you. U.S. Customs and Border Protection in Louisville seized a parcel of counterfeit watches. Border workers say the watches would have been valued at more than $22 million if the watches were real. The parcel contained 584 fake watches that had brands like Rolex as trademark logos. The package came from a person in Hong Kong and was on its way to a resident in Jamaica, New York. Kentucky State Police are participating in the Secure Your Load Day safety campaign today. Troopers say this will help prevent crashes, injuries, and deaths caused by unsecured vehicle loads. In 2020, the U.S. had 637 fatal crashes related to unsecured loads. The crashes resulted in 715 deaths. Secure Your Load Day was established by Robin Abel, who lost her daughter Maria in an accident in 2004. Maria was on her way from work when someone ahead of her lost a piece of furniture. The 40-pound board went through her windshield, hitting her in the face at 55 miles per hour. State Representative Savannah Maddox is joining the crowded Republican race for governor in Kentucky. She is actually making the announcement right now, but she already officially filed paperwork to run next year, and her website says she is running. So far, there are 9 Republicans running now, including Attorney General Daniel Cameron, Agriculture Commissioner Ryan Quarles, and Auditor Mike Harmon. Democrat Andy Beshear is running for re-election. Corbin is now home to the Kentucky Blood Center's newest location, providing an easier way for people to help save lives. WIMT's Dakota Makris explains.
The Kentucky Blood Center serves 70 hospitals. Donation centers like this help keep supply in stock.
We like to have a 3-day supply of blood on our shelves at all times. We have been at a 1-day or less supply for the better part of 2 years now.
Blood center officials say they have learned donors are comfortable going to donor centers.
That's why we decided to kind of change a little bit of our game plan and make sure that we're putting donor centers in convenient places for donors to come out.
Like Sunday Thomas, who was the very first donor at the new location.
It's exciting. I'm definitely nervous though.
But she is no stranger to donating blood. She says she donates every 56 days because a blood donation saved her life.
I've had a blood transfusion myself, and I feel like if somebody saved my life, why shouldn't I save somebody else's? I've worked in the medical field, and I've seen a lot of lives being saved by blood, and it's just so simple. Anybody can do it.
And Sunday is donating O-negative blood, considered a universal type safe to use with any patient regardless of their own blood type. Center officials say they see O-negative a lot in southern Kentucky, which is one of the reasons why they chose Corbin for their new location.
In a trauma situation at a hospital, when they don't have time to type a patient's blood, they're going to give them O-negative blood until they can get to that point.
Hoping to keep a steady flow of donations circulating throughout the region. In Corbin, Dakota Makris, WIMT Mountain News.
The donation center is open 6 days a week, Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. till 6 p.m. and on Saturdays from 8 a.m. until 2 p.m. After being closed for 2 years because of the pandemic, the Christian Appalachian Project has reopened its thrift store in Mount Vernon in Rockcastle County. Grateful Threads has been a staple in the community since it first opened in 2008. It offers affordable clothing and household items to families in the community. And although they had to close for the pandemic, they say the donations never stopped and volunteers kept working to support local families. At today's reopening, customers say it was like a family reunion. They were thrilled to attend.
It is so gratifying to be open, to have this day come, to be able to see everyone. Someone made the comment earlier, it's kind of like a family reunion.
One volunteer collected hundreds of prom dresses, allowing students to try them on and take a dress home for free by appointment. On June 6, 1944, more than 150,000 American, British, and Canadian soldiers stormed the beaches of Normandy to help liberate Europe from the Nazis. This would ultimately become the largest seaborne invasion in history, also known as D-Day. Today marks the 78th anniversary of the day that many historians say was a pivotal moment in World War II. WYMT's Alyssa Williams spoke to several veterans in Hazard who shared their perspective on that monumental day in history.
June 6, 1944 marks a day very few can remember firsthand, but still a day many of us should not forget.
We sure don't want these veterans to feel forgotten or the people they lost feel forgotten because they made the ultimate sacrifice.
Historians say approximately 4,000 Allied troops lost their lives during D-Day, and although there are few remaining D-Day veterans, there are still several that can recall the stories from that historic day.
Everybody tried to help on them to win.
105-year-old Oakley Hacker is a World War II veteran. Although he did not fight in D-Day, his brother was killed in Italy in the time leading up to it.
Nobody knows what war is like that never was in one. Of course, that'll never be expected.
Korean War veteran Levi Oakes Jr. says he also knew people who served around the time of D-Day. Oakes adds that he's happy to still be able to share their stories.
I'm glad to be alive yet, but I'd rather be in a better shape more than I am now.
Facilities like the Paul E. Patton Eastern Kentucky Veterans Center in Hazard gives veterans the opportunity to share stories surrounding days like today and to pay respect to the lives that were lost.
One thing that is universal, and that comes out no matter what, is pride. They are very proud of the time they served, they're very proud of their country, and they're very proud of everything that they went through and done.
Remembering those who lived through D-Day and are here to tell their stories, so no one can ever forget. In Hazard, Alyssa Williams, WYMT, Mountain News.
Activities coordinator for the Eastern Kentucky Veterans Center, Jennifer Young, says during days like this, they always hold a moment of silence for the lives lost and try to emphasize the importance of honoring those who paid the ultimate sacrifice for our country.
Watching the return of showers and thunderstorms to the forecast. I've got the latest from Future View next, but first.
A Floyd County student who recently graduated from high school shares his story of coming from a Russian orphanage.
WYMT News app offers alerts on breaking